This is the Chefpreneur podcast, where we inspire professional cooks to take on greater risk to build a personal chef business for themselves. Now, here's your host, Andres Hinojosa.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Chefpreneur podcast. This is your host, Andres Hinojosa. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I know we've taken a big break from the podcast, but we are back in full swing. We've been working on some exciting projects, and we can't wait to disclose and share with you all what is coming up in the very near future. But, I've been getting kind of some hate mail about not doing podcasts, and I'm not saying real hate mail where people are actually giving me like nasty words and stuff, but they're just asking me, hey, Chef, when are you bringing back the podcast? We love it. Well, here we are back yet again. We're going to be focusing on our podcast. We've also done some great YouTube videos as well, and we're working on our YouTube channel, so make sure you check us out. Just go to YouTube, type in Chefpreneur, follow us, subscribe to us, click those notifications so that we can get that video content in front of you as well. Now, before I start this episode, I wanted to just again say thank you to all of you who have been following us from the very beginning and being part of the Chefpreneur movement. We are really here to encourage and inspire all of you passionate cooks and chefs out there to really take a hold of your future. And before I really dive into the content today, I wanted to just give you guys again that shout out to just say I really appreciate your guys' support, and I appreciate you guys allowing me to support you, right? Because I can't do any of this without you. And honestly, sometimes it's extremely difficult with my 5 children, and my personal chef business lately has been so busy I can't even hardly keep up. And so to actually have people listen to this and actually get inspired by what we do, it really means the world to me. So without further ado, let's jump into today's content, is why right now is the best time to start a personal chef business. All right, now this all happened around 3 years ago when I first started talking about the Chefpreneur movement, right? And I really felt that God showed me that this was the future for chefs and cooks who really wanted to do something on their own, who wanted to start a business but didn't have tons of resources or funds to get started. Because honestly, I bootstrapped my business, my personal chef business, Dinner with a Chef. You can look us up. I bootstrapped it, right? I mean, it doesn't really take that much to get started anyway, but I really was fending and grinding for my first clients. And again, if you haven't listened to some of our other podcast episodes about how to find your first client and different things like that, and we actually have a training, which I'll discuss here in a little bit. But honestly, one of the things that I realized was this was going to be the future for chefs and cooks that really wanted to start a business. And I believed that 3 years ago, and it was mostly because I believed that most cooks and chefs, to do their passion, really got crapped on, to say it kind of politely, right? I mean, we were underpaid, we were underappreciated, we've been overworked, and you grind and grind and grind, and you really know that you have a passion for cooking, you love what you do, but it was really hard to make a living in this industry, and not to mention all the emotional and physical and the different stresses that come up with it. There's actually whole organizations now that are dedicated to just the mental well-being of chefs, right? And their emotional and physical state. With suicide and drug and alcohol problems, it's been pretty intense for a long time, and I feel like it's not talked about enough. But one of the things that I realized when I started my personal chef business was I actually could have the freedom. Now, nothing is given to you. There's always going to be hard work involved. But you know what? Us as chefs and cooks, we're used to hard work, right? We don't shy away from hard work. In fact, we are some of the most hardworking individuals in any industry on the face of this earth. And it's funny because if we focus our passion and our energy into doing what we love and actually putting it into a business such as this one, honestly, you can be amazed at what you can accomplish. But honestly, like I said, 3 years ago, I knew this was the future. And now that this pandemic has hit and the world seems like it's turned upside down and, there's still quarantining going on and different things, here's the thing. It's now more than ever the future for chefs, right? I recently just got off the phone with a couple chefs that have been in the business for over 30 years. In fact, 2 of them were in their mid-40s. They were telling me that they've been in the business for 20 to 25 to 30 years. And now they're sending out 3, 4, 5 resumes a day, right? And I live here in California, and one of them that I'm talking about lives in California, and the other chef that I was talking to lives in Texas. But they were both telling me the same thing, like, chef, we're actually applying for so many jobs out there, but because of this pandemic and because of the shortage of jobs, there's not even enough to go around, right? I mean, other people are fending for those same jobs, and now there's a lot of unemployed cooks. There's a lot of unemployed chefs. Restaurants are having to rely on takeout and delivery, Grubhub and Uber Eats and all these major, companies and these major apps that are allowing people to receive food on their doorstep. Obviously, it's not replacing the chef, but they're just trying to make a living. They're trying to stay alive. These restaurants and things are trying to stay alive. But here's the deal. My personal chef business, when this pandemic went down, for all of you guys that listen to this podcast, I'm going to be real with you. The first 45 days was extremely tough, right? I mean, the whole world shut down and it came to a standstill. And my business was no different. In fact, I had to refund, close to $4,000 or $5,000 worth of deposits that clients gave me. And here's the funny thing. I didn't know what the future held as well. But in my head and in my heart, something told me, when this comes back around, if restaurants don't open, these clients are going to start looking for other avenues on how to celebrate, how to eat better, how to have fun, how to still celebrate maybe a 50th anniversary or a birthday for their mom or dad. They will find a way. They will look for services that can accommodate them. And my hunch was absolutely right. In the month of August, which I'm recording this podcast right now in the end of August, so whenever this is being published, just know that I'm being real with you on the timing. This month in August will be my busiest month I've ever had in my business, right? And I'm not saying that again for ego or to really just drive it home, but here's the thing. People now more than ever are still wanting to have an amazing dining experience. They're still wanting to have something that's crafted from a chef. They're over the Grubhub and the Uber Eats. And that stuff is fine for the lunches and for the dinners where they want something quick to eat. But again, they don't hire a personal chef because they're hungry. They hire us for an experience. And so we have to understand that we have to provide that experience, and they're not going to want to stop experiences. That's not what they do. They want to have an experience, right? And so if they can't have one, like currently right now in the state of California, there's only outdoor patio dining. And every client I've talked to that's local, they've been telling me, we don't want to go and sit outside in outdoor dining at 8 o'clock at night where the waiter has masks on and it just seems like a weird experience. This is not how they pictured their 40th birthday or their, again, parents' 50th anniversary. They want to be in the comfort of their own home. They would rather feel more comfortable having one person or two people come into their home, deliver an amazing experience, and they'd feel more safe and confident in their own home. Think about it, right? They're in their humble abode. There's more control. They can watch what you're doing. They make sure that you're washing your hands. Obviously, you're taking the precautions with the mask, the gloves, the whole 9 yards. But to be honest with you, this is what they're looking for. And my business has not only increased from people who have used personal chef services before, it's actually increasing even more from people who haven't, right? Because again, they're trying to find a way to still do an experience. And most of them are saying, chef, I've never tried this personal chef thing before, but I really have no choice. Now think about that for a minute. Right now, the consumer has no choice but to use personal chef services. And in my personal opinion, here in the Chefpreneur movement, I have no doubt in my mind, and unfortunately I hate to say it this way in a cunning way, that you as a passionate cook or chef, you have no choice but to start something for yourself because the opportunity out there right now is so scarce, right? And here's the next thing. When this is all over, whenever that may be, these people are going to form habits. Everybody knows that us as human beings, we form habits. And I know what you're thinking. Well, it's an expensive habit to have. No, it doesn't mean that they have to hire you every single week, every single day. But they will start to form habits to say, wow, this 50th anniversary was during this pandemic, but because we were forced to hire a personal chef, we actually got a better experience than anything we've ever had. And why haven't we done this 3 years earlier? I get that a lot right now lately from my clients. Like, how come we haven't done this before? So this is what I want to tell you guys all. If you're thinking about doing something, I don't care if you go with us in the Chefpreneur movement. I'm not saying that you have to come to us with, to learn and all that. Now this is what we've started this movement for, was to actually encourage you and give you the tools and training to do so. But I'm really being real from the bottom of my heart. Even if you don't go with us, even if there's something that you don't, know, I at least want you to try to take that opportunity. That's the number one thing that I want you to do. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing more rewarding than to actually go out there and try something. One of the biggest, I guess you would say, statements I love is that the very first step to success in anything in life is to get started. Recently, I recorded a video where I was walking around. I am kind of an overweight guy. Come on, man. I'm a chef, and they say you should never trust a skinny chef. That's a joke. So if you're skinny and you're a chef, calm down. I'm just trying to tell you that I got to lose some weight, and I got to get healthier. And I'm up here. It's been this heat wave in San Diego, and I've been running around. But you know what? I have to get started, and that's the first step to get me to lose weight and be healthier. And whatever that first step looks like, whether it's just to do some research on it. Right? I mean, this podcast, the Chefpreneur podcast, is an amazing resource for you to actually start to think about doing this and doing research. Do research on me. Look me up, Andres Hinojosa. I have my own personal chef business, Dinner with a Chef. I've been around for 5.5 years. We've started the Chefpreneur movement over 3.5 years ago, and I started it with a dream to just help as many passionate cooks and chefs as possible. And so I wanted to actually give you guys an idea of right now, what is something that you can actually do and actually put out there and actually go for it. We've actually created what we call 14-day personal chef. What this is in 14 days, I give you a day-by-day training on how to find your first client as a personal chef, or your next client if you already have, quote unquote, a personal chef business, but you feel like you're not hitting the mark. And the reason why we created this training was not only to give you a quick win, but for you to actually see that this is possible. Even if you want to just earn some side cash right now and you're not wanting to, quote unquote, start this whole business, but you want to actually cook for clients. So I would like to have you look at the links down below in the description. We have our training for you. And I wanted to just encourage you to get started right now. If you haven't thought about starting this type of business or doing any personal chefing, you need to rethink that right now, because right now your options are limited, and we can help you actually achieve something better and not only go from trying to make some side income, but to actually doing a $50,000 month like I just did in August. That's literally my sales for this month. It's the biggest month I've ever had in my business. We want to help you. We're not sitting here trying to dangle carrots of money in your face. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not some internet online guru. I'm really just a fellow chef helping other passionate cooks and chefs succeed. I just want to show you what's possible. That this doesn't have to just be a side income type thing. You could build a real business with a real future, with real finances, with a real career for your real family, and actually provide for them. So again, check out the link down below. It's called the 14-Day Personal Chef. It's only $14. We try to make this so affordable. Honestly, I would have loved to give this away for free, but I wanted you to put in something. We all know that you have to invest in something in order to receive it. I got to put the hard work in to actually lose weight. And it's going to be painful. But $1 a day, I mean, you can literally scrounge up that in the bottom of your sofa cushion. I mean, we all know that we find loose change everywhere in the house. $1 a day, $14 gets you in this training. And if you find one client off it that is able and willing to pay you $300, $400, $500, $600, even $1,000, I'm pretty sure that $14 went a long way. And I hope it opens up as well your mentality and mind to see what's possible. And I hope that this podcast that I'm recording right now is speaking to you, as you might be sitting there on the edge. You might be sitting there, honestly, probably depressed. You might be feeling like there's no hope, there's no future because of all this going down. And as a chef and a cook, that's scary, because you're like, man, I want to do something with my talents, with my God-given talents and abilities. So here's what I'm just trying to get you to understand. You got to take a step right now. You got to take a step and get started on something. Again, even if you don't have our help, just start by researching. Start doing some research. Start looking around and seeing the opportunity, because right now there's tons of opportunity. Maybe in the traditional culinary and restaurant industry, there's not very much opportunity right now. But over here in this space, consumers are wanting your talents and abilities. They are looking for you. And I want to help you find them and help them find you. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. Again, we've come back. This is our first episode back in a long time. And honestly, I want to try to keep them a little bit shorter. I know we got a lot of things going on. I got a lot of things going on. I'm trying to make it short and sweet and to the point. Again, this whole entire Chefpreneur movement was started to help motivate, inspire, educate you guys to really take that step, to actually put your future in your own hands. And honestly, you could become your own boss and really live the life that you've actually thought about, owning a business, being a chef, doing what you love, and serving others from your heart. Hey, God bless you. We love you. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Chefpreneur podcast, where we want to educate, motivate, and inspire as many chefs to become their own boss. Please subscribe to the podcast and join us every week to be part of the movement. To sign up for our free online training, visit becomeachefpreneur.com.